Hello there and welcome. It's Eye on Port, program that brings the port's activities closer to you and also you closer to the port. It's proudly sponsored and brought to you by very important institutions in this country. First is the #1 oil marketing company in Ghana, GOIL, sponsors this program. Also the top IT solutions providers for the nation, the government of Ghana, that's Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet, and also West Blue Consulting. Now I have to say that it's official. The customs, the Ghana Revenue Authority is an official sponsor of Eye on Port. They provide a major support financially and everything to support Eye on Port. So Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and Ghana Revenue Authority in entirety, we say a big thank you for coming on board to support Eye on Port. We say a big thank you particularly to the Commissioner General, Mr. Kofi Nti. We thank you, sir, for supporting this program, and also the Commissioner of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Isaac CRENTSIL, very proud supporter of this program financially and all of that. However, the port is filled with a lot of processes, and one major institution that has, I would say, the chunk of its process going on in the port is the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And it's important that we take them on when we have to, and it's also important that we seek clarifications to some of the activities that they undertake within the port and maritime industry. 2018, Customs says it was a difficulty as far as operating in the port industry is concerned. Why is that so? They couldn't even achieve their target. They were short by 18%. And they are saying that this year, 2019, they will not undertake any controversial policy in the ports. We engaged the Commissioner of Customs, Mr. Isaac CRENTSIL, about the 2018 year, the outlook of it, and also 2019, what is to come.
Last year was a lot for you, I noticed. There was a back and forth with CTN and all of that.
Yep.
How was 2018 for customs?
2018 was a very difficult year, a turbulent and stormy year.
For customs?
For customs, very. Because there were so many agitations right from the beginning of the year to the end. From the traders, from other stakeholders. So many misunderstandings.
Agitations and misunderstandings in which direction? Because I remember CTN, but
yeah, one of them was the CTN.
Okay.
One of them was the CTN. In fact, we started rolling the CTN in February, and they for whatever reasons, they didn't buy into it, and started agitating because so many rumors were flying out there that things were going to be very difficult for them, and it had to take us almost about 9 months.
Yeah.
For us
to start it officially.
And all these things, they were wait and see.
Yeah.
It was a big, and then of course the common external tariff also put a hell on. So the rates are too high. It's
but you bargained for them.
Well, it's a COES protocol, so that one is not something that the government bargained for it. It's something that they came to meet.
Was it imposed on you, or you had the opportunity to negotiate?
No, it's something that all West African countries were taking part.
Yes, but the rate, assume that you say you want 5% off, let's say, spare parts, for instance. You could have worked it out.
No. It was something that it was fixed. That they give us 5 band. Some of the products were in some bands that they move, and on all these things, it was the 5% that the product line increase.
Okay.
Yes, and then also there was this 35% for specific industry, just to protect the industry. Okay, so it's not something that we bargained for it.
It was imposed on you.
It was imposed on us.
And how did that disturb you? Or
the rates were high. Some were about maybe 10%. Because of the seat, it moved to 20%. So automatically it's about 100% increment. And this is not the fault of the government or anybody. It's because of the ECOWAS protocol. Because we are trying to move into the custom union. So it's a gradual process.
Ghana couldn't have adjusted other duties to make room for the CET.
In what way?
When there are other duties that we could have probably lowered while trying to make room to
No, we did. We have this import adjustment tariff.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah, which of course we use it to look at the spare parts.
Yes.
We have to we do the spare parts, I think, from 10% to 0 rated.
Yes.
We did, and we have used almost about 117 lines or so. We did.
Generally, I mean, I had a lot of concerns from importers here and there. The fact that too much duties. Commissioner, do you hear these things? And
I hear every blessed day. People come to me. But the truth of the matter is that since I assumed commissionership,
yes,
yeah, I think in April 2017.
Yeah.
I mean, because of this perception,
yeah,
that too much duties have gone up. Immediately, we have to reduce the benchmark. The benchmark was the risk-based pricing, where customs should not lose. Because when you bring values, this was something that was the baseline. That look
below that, then you are losing.
Yeah, below that we are losing. So we put it there. So I realized that look, because the rate were already high. So it's a setup. We can't do anything about it. By the pricing, it was a problem that it's within our control. So immediately I have to reduce it for 3 times.
I see.
3 times, 3 times
of the baseline.
Of the baseline, just to accommodate the increase in the customs duty rate.
I see.
Yes. So when people are complaining that duties are high, I feel disturbed.
Yeah.
Because you're doing all maximum best possible
and still,
to break, but still because the rate is still high.
Yeah.
If your goods, your whatever you are bringing find itself in 35% rate, obviously even if it is $10. It is going to be very high.
Yeah.
But initially, maybe the goods will be about 20%. Now it's moved to about 35%. So you know what the implication.
And this is the doing of the ECOWAS system.
ECOWAS system. So it's not the doing of the government. It's not the government doesn't have any hand in it at all. In fact, we started it in. It came on board in 2015, but then Ghana started in February 2016. And I mean, the government came in January 2017. So we realized that they came to meet it.
Yeah. With all these things, what happened to your revenue collection in 2018?
Because of the high cost, the duty,
yeah,
comprising the price and then the rate, people decided to stop importing.
I see.
And yes, a lot of people didn't bring any goods because they realized
that's disturbing.
That is disturbing.
Very disturbing.
Well, disturbing. Even up to now, as we speak about, a lot of people are contemplating because the rate are still there.
Yeah.
Recently the greater people issue statement that the cost of doing business is very high.
Extremely high.
Extremely high.
A lot of private people are complaining.
I think around the last quarter, what the government did was to even with respect to the 35% ban rate, the government has to even halve the prices of some of these products, so that at least they'll be able to accommodate those products, those who bring those products. So government is doing all maximum best possible to ensure that at least the cost of doing business comes down.
I see.
Yes, so because government is concerned, because they hear the cry of the
government should be concerned because I mean, if out of increasing duties and out of high taxes and duties, people are not importing, that would be worrying. The system will be choked. And people will be.
So what is happening is that because the duties were very high, especially the 35 ban, then they used the frontiers. So like that, even though at the TEMA port, where data can be captured very well, and we realize that the goods have come down. Such goods were plenty in the market. So we realized that they were coming through the frontiers. The frontiers were also porous. So they were coming through those frontiers. But thank God, now we're able to collect these NABCO people and other methods. So things are working well.
So in terms of your revenue collection, how much were you able to make? Were you able to hit your target, for instance?
No, we were down by almost 18%.
18%?
Yeah, negative.
Short. Of your target?
Of your target.
And
even though it was year-on-year growth, it was about 3.9 compared to 2017.
No,
2018 was difficult year.
Yeah.
There's so many things happened.
I see.
So many things happened within the period.
Is it also not that your targets sometimes are excessively ambitious?
No.
You're
not
sure
at all.
That the finance minister is not continue
not that. 2017 we did very well. So we're hoping that 2018 will be better.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
those are some of the projections. Sometimes
there were so many things that we identified. First, it was the petroleum revenue. You know, when we talk about custom revenue, it's the petroleum revenue, and of course the import revenue. That makes up the The petroleum revenue was a challenge the first 6 months, but then luckily we were able to identify it, and then had a collaboration with the National Petroleum Authority. So they brought this enterprise relational data money, whatever, a system to manage the problem. So then we realized that the second half they sealed that one, and then petroleum. So petroleum did very well.
So second half petroleum shot up and closed the gap. But import revenues. But
import revenue, January we started very well, and then this issue of the CTN came in. And once the people were not sure, I mean, they discouraged them. Yes. So wait and see. So some were having their containers overseas, hoping to see what happens back home, because they heard that this is what the system was going to bring. And all this delay, very delayed the imports. And then of course there was a strike by freight forwarders, and then good people were also making noise. So it wasn't the best.
The system, there was quite chaos in the system.
Until November that everything settled and we move on.
Generally, you take a look at the port traffic, for instance, increased. So I'm trying to reconcile, how do we have traffic increasing and still having your revenue target not being met?
Traffic might increase, all right, but they can use it through the transit route.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is where they were going to.
Transit can transit cargo.
So the transit cargo increase, but then a lot of them diverted back into the home consumption, and it also affected our data records.
Now let's look at the future. 2019. What are you going to do to deal with? First of all, the one that's most important to me, to regain the confidence of importers that, listen, continue to import through our ports and through our corridors, so that the country will be able to make some revenue. Do you have some plans that intends to sort of reduce this burden of cost on importers?
What we did was that the last month of 2018, that is December, we had a meeting with the freight forwarders, because they are our immediate intermediary. So we wanted to calm down their nerves. So we met them and then tried to take stock of what happened in 2018, because always there were friction, misunderstanding also among us, and normally they do the legwork. So if they are not satisfied, of course
they communicate to the importers and then discourage them from
the management of Customs Division had a meeting with them, and then we also had a meeting with some of the executives of the GUTA, the trading association, so that at least they also appreciate the challenges that they were going on. And then we have also had a stakeholders engagement with those who find themselves in the transit regime. We had the last week, we had the national stakeholders engagement on transit regime to roll out customs control, that to minimize the leakages. A lot of controls are being thrown in there. So we had that meeting and then ensure that these controls, they appreciate it. So what going forward, what we want to do for 2019, that first we want to have more dialogue with all the stakeholders, because all necessary controls have been put in there. But what is very important is for them to appreciate, what is happening. So if they buy into the change or the message that you want to bring in, then they'll carry on. So that's what resulted in this national stakeholder engagement on transit, so that they're able to understand the new message that we want to put it in place. And then also going forward, we also want to ensure that we enforce all our laws. The enforcement will be very high. We want to enforce those who find themselves.
Do you want to?
No, we have all customs, the Customs Act 891.
Which of them would directly help you reduce the cost of doing business? What
we have advised ourselves going forward, with the introduction of the cargo tracking of the CTN, we said that this time we are not going to use the benchmark values again.
You are going to use transactional values.
You are going to use transactional values, and the transactional values is what you actually paid or payable.
Yes.
And that was what they were
from origin,
and that's what they were clamoring for. So we heard their cry and we said, look, now tell us whatever you bought over there. tell us.
Are they the ones to tell you, I mean, from the...
No, they will buy it and then they upload into the system and then we use it.
But I thought even before you started CTN, this is one of the assurance that you gave that you were not going to use the benchmark values.
But then there was a problem. People were under-declaring.
So you still went back to the benchmark?
Yes, because there was no before the CTN. You are talking about before.
No, I'm actually talking about when you started CTN.
When we started CTN, we have started using. We stopped using the benchmark.
From 15th.
Oh yes,
stopped
using the benchmark.
They said you were still using.
No. It's not true. It's not true. I personally am going to the Customs Technical Service Bureau to ensure that only CTN values are used. Those that are not on CTN, that is where we also ensure that at least for not us to reduce, we look at the prices that are pertaining. The data.
Then you were still benchmarking.
You're not benchmarking.
So from 2019, you are saying that there will be no challenge on the values that are inputted into
once
the CTN.
Once it is in the CTN, once it's in the CTN, we accept.
Okay.
Once it's in the CTN, we accept, and that's why even we are praying and encouraging others who are exempted from using CTN to come in, because look, this is the actual price you paid or you're going to pay. So what is your fear now? So you're not going to put you, but if you are not on CTN, then of course the principle that the government should also lose.
Okay.
So then must use the benchmark to safeguard us. It's a safeguard.
So
it's a risk base.
Those who are not in the CTN confinement, you are still applying benchmark on them.
Of course. Because if you are not CTN confinement, then we will have to use benchmark. Okay. But even going forward, by the end of this month, we will have the manifest, the e-manifest, the electronic manifest at our center. Okay. Because as we will talk about almost 2 years, these things were not there. So it was a difficult even identifying the product, the description, the weight, quantity. So whatever they were telling us, what we were taking. But thank God now, this one, by the end of this month, January, the e-manifest will be there. So even if you are not on CTN, at least you will know your quantities that you brought. You know your description, the place you load, and then we can then even consider whatever price you give us. Our concern is not the price.
Okay.
Our concern is the quantity, the description, the weight, and then the port of loading and the country of origin. Because this will give us the exact weight, custom duty rate that we should put you there. Price is not much of our concern.
I see.
But the concern is the quantity. Because what they were doing happening was that they were signing down the quantity, they describing things. If it is red, they say yellow, because the yellow will put it at a lower duty rate. But now we will know that if it is red, which will put you at the appropriate HS code or customs rate.
No, the CTN, you exempted quite a number of the people, of the importers, and you were dealing with, though relatively smaller number of importers, but their cargo volumes were very high, almost about 70%.
Sure.
Now, can you tell us if that made any difference in your revenue collection in 2018? The people you placed on CTN.
I can, even though very soon we are going to, I don't want to take the shine out of my boss. Very soon we are going to issue have a press conference on that. There has been a remarkable improvement in our revenue.
I see. Sure?
Oh yes, because since we started from October, there has been a turnaround. Because we were running a negative growth, but from October it's moving, and I can show you that generally we will have our first positive month. I'm telling you, generally, I'm very positive that we'll have our first positive month since I became a commissioner.
So do you intend to robe in the remaining percentage?
No, we are going to engage them. But by next week, we are going to persuade them. We will have a press conference with the leadership of Guta and talk about, because they are facing challenges. Yeah. The whole idea is not to put all of them into
onto the CTN.
No. Those, some of them like used clothing people, spare parts. Those are the few people that I don't think we have to worry them, because I mean it's just negligible amount. So we are not going to worry them.
And you think that those places, they are not under declaration? Or
it's not much, because
it's not significant for you.
Yes, but the concern is that they will have peace to trade, because they catch a lot of
the ordinary market.
The ordinary market. So we don't want to disturb them, put so much compliance and hard on them. I mean, it will affect ordinary person on the street. But going forward this year, we don't want any disturbance within the trading environment. But not anything that will bring disturbance. We will have to ensure that it's nipped in the bud immediately.
So that's the Commissioner of Customs, CRENTSIL, there talking to us about the outlook of 2018, and it didn't look good for customs at all. But they're hoping that 2019, looking at the implementation of the CTN at the latter part and all of that, they're hoping it will be good. However, he mentioned that there wouldn't be any controversial policy this year. Already, we know that the first port rule is coming off the first quarter of this year. Isn't that controversial, a policy? Because some people have raised very legitimate issues and concerns regarding that policy. We'll be engaging the same Commissioner of Customs in our next episode, and we'll be talking about a lot of other ways of reducing cost in the port. From their side, they've mentioned a number of things that they think that they can't reduce, but there are also a number of costs that can be taken off, and we'll be talking about all of that in our next episode of Eye on Port. In the meantime, very solemn and sad 1 week ceremony has been held in honor of our late Mrs. Josephine Asante, the former manager for public affairs and marketing at the port of TEMA. A 1 week memorial service has been held at the Our Lady of Mercy Catholic Church at TEMA Community 1 on Saturday, January 26, 2019, for the late Mrs. Josephine Asante, the former marketing and public affairs manager of TEMA Port, who was murdered at her MF Estate residence near Afienya in cold blood. The memorial service was attended by family members, staff of GPHA, friends and sympathizers. Also, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has opened the Book of Condolence at the TEMA Port head office from Wednesday 23rd to Thursday 31st January 2019 for its late former manager. Meanwhile, the Board of Directors of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, led by Peter McMenu, has added its voice to the many calls to the security agencies to speed up investigations that will lead to the apprehension and eventual conviction of the murderer or murderess of the late Josephine Asante. In a press release signed by the Secretary to the Board, George Kennedy Ekomil, the GPHA Board said it will assist the police in whatever means possible to nab the perpetrators, since they are of the firm belief that their greater satisfaction will come from unraveling the circumstances surrounding the unfortunate death of their manager. The board assured all staff, members of the port community and indeed the general public that it will leave no stone unturned in helping the police to bring this inconceivable death of Josephine Asante to a successful closure. The late Mrs. Josephine Asante is scheduled to be buried on the 16th of March 2019. Now, we'll continue to say that may the gentle soul of Joe rest in perfect peace, and we will be updating you regarding whatever issues surrounding her unfortunate death. Eye on Port returns after the break.
Hello? Good morning, this is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less. Bye.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Get it right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here, in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window, the only way to Ghana's economic growth, is in our hands.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Welcome back from the break. Still watching Eye on Port. Local news around the port industry next.
The TEMA port security has apprehended 2 Ghanaians who allegedly boarded a ship called Maritime Voyage in an attempt to stow away to Spain. The stowaways, who gave their names as Kofi Now, 19 years, and Charles Eshen, 20 years, say they are fishermen from Takoradi and boarded the vessel from anchorage of the TEMA Takoradi port at 2 a.m. on Sunday, 20th January 2019. The crew on board the vessel, which was loaded with manganese from the Takoradi port to China, detected the 2 stowaways on their vessel and had to return to TEMA port to disembark them. Kofi Now and Charles Eshen, who were on board for 3 days and had run out of food, explained that they thought the vessel was heading to Spain. They stated their mission as entering Spain in search of greener pastures.
If you so boat and go Spain and American, and so talk about me when you shut down your pebia until the boat no good country. Today and I do not yellow folk. I said, "Every day, I'm going to point out my so do be papa. Now you say to me, be that way. Yani, your mom, your sisters, and you."
The TEMA port security manager, Colonel Joseph Malik Punamani, stated that there is a robust system in place which gives no chance for stowaways.
We kept on warning the youth that there's no chance for stowaway. The way they were dressed, they would be incompatible to the system there. There's no way they could survive even if they get to that place. So we are warning the youth to avoid this type of traveling. If you want to travel, go the proper way.
Colonel Joseph Malik Punamani disclosed that stowaway cases in the country have reduced drastically and that only few naive people make such attempts. He advised the youth that it is dangerous to stow away, hence the need for them to desist from the act.
People kept on doing this. Either the education is not going down well, because over a long period, nobody have succeeded in going by ships like this, because our systems are very sharp and they can easily detect you. So it's not an advisable venture to undertake.
International port news next. According to DP World, which has reaffirmed its commitment to infrastructure investments in Africa, the removal of trade barriers is key to improving economic development in Africa. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayam, Group Chairman and CEO of DP World, told an audience at the Africa Emergency Conference 2019 in Dakar, Senegal, that DP World remains committed to supporting the economic growth of Senegal and developing Dakar into major logistics hub and gateway for West Africa. BIMCO has called for an international naval response to the growing piracy threat in the Gulf of Guinea, the world's leading region for maritime hijackings and kidnappings. According to the International Maritime Bureau's piracy report for 2018, the Gulf of Guinea accounted for the overwhelming majority of serious acts of piracy worldwide. Out of all attacks reported around the globe, this region accounted for all 6 hijackings, 13 of 18 vessels fired upon, 130 out of 140 hostages held, and 78 of 83 seafarers kidnapped for ransom. The frequency of pirate attacks in the area has increased 2-fold since 2017. Hong Kong-based China Merchants Port Holdings announced that the company will increase capital to its joint venture Djibouti Asset Company for its development of commercial and infrastructure projects at the port of Djibouti. The Djibouti Asset Company was established to invest and provide financial support to develop commercial and infrastructure projects in Djibouti International Free Trade Zone.
Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah port continued its strong growth in the container sector last year with a 36% increase in volumes over 2017. The port handled 2.3 million TEUs in 2018, keeping up a strong growth trajectory, having achieved a record 50% container throughput growth in the first half of the year. Transshipment was a major component of King Abdullah's port's volumes, accounting for 1.85 million TEUs of the total volumes for 2018, and up some 44% in the previous year. The port saw 911 vessel calls in 2018, up 12% from 820 in the previous year.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
And the schedules of vessels in the port, those at Anchorage, those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates next. Once again, we say a big thank you and welcome aboard to the Ghana Revenue Authority for sponsoring this program, Eye on Port. Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Domestic Tax Revenue Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the entire Ghana Revenue Authority, headed by Mr. Emmanuel Kofi Nti, also the Commissioner of Customs, Isaac CRENTSIL. We say a big thank you to you for coming on board to support educating the entire public on the port and maritime industry and the port business in particular. Thank you for watching the program. See you same time next week.